Yesterday, I did a video about me professionally, so today I wanted to do more of a video about me as a person. I was born and raised in Plano, Texas, and I'm the youngest of five. I have four older sisters. My mom was a seamstress and also had a home daycare growing up, which I think has played a lot into why I became a pediatrician, because I've been around kids my whole life between my mom's daycare as well as my older sisters who had kids when I was younger. I became an aunt when I was 8 years old. In elementary school, I was always really shy. I'm pretty sure it's selective mutism because sometimes I wouldn't even talk to my sister. And then in high school, I really kind of came out of my shell. Honestly, I was a little wild and got in a fair amount of trouble. But I did take a health occupations class and decided in that class that I wanted to become a PA. So I knew that I wanted to go to college and that my parents weren't really going to be able to help me pay for it. So I decided I would just join the military. So the Texas National Guard recruiter, of course, was the one that was in the school cafeteria that day. And so I joined the Texas National Guard and decided I was going to become a medic. It's me at MEPS. Got on in trouble for that shirt. And then I graduated high school and then left for basic training. I was 17 when I joined the military, so my mom actually had to sign for me. And I think back on that now, it was 2004, so it was still the heat of the Afghanistan war as well as the Iraq war was really starting to ramp up. And I don't think that I really understood the risk kind of joining the military, but I knew that if I deployed, I was going to be okay with that. This is me at basic training. Through my combat medic training, I got my EMT, and so that's what I did all the way through undergrad. I worked at different private ambulance companies. That's me helping out with Hurricane Katrina when all the buses came through Dallas. I also dispatched between working on the ambulance and dispatching, so that's what I did in undergrad. And I went to community college for a while, and then I had a deployment to Iraq in 2008. And after I got back from Iraq, I finished up my associates and then I was ready to apply for the Army PA program. I talked to a recruiter and he said, no, he's like, don't apply for the Army PA program, just go to civilian PA school. And I think the reason he told me that was because there were only 2 slots for the whole Guard for the Army's PA program. So it was extremely competitive and most people got waitlisted every year. So I had a better chance of just finishing out my undergrad and trying to go to civilian PA school. So transferred to UNT as a biology major and minor in chemistry. And my first class that I took at UNT was organic chemistry. I didn't know much about organic chemistry before that, but I know that I did well in general chemistry. So I'm in the class with mostly pre-med students and I was just knocking it out of the water. I remember getting over 100, 119 on the test sometimes, and that's when I realized, like, I'm as smart as all these pre-med students. Maybe I should just go to medical school. So I kind of switched at that point to pre-med and then finished up my prereqs. I took my MCAT and then got accepted to Texas Tech Medical School. So I graduated UNT. I got commissioned as a second lieutenant because I did a health profession scholarship program for medical school that paid for medical school. And this is my white coat ceremony. So I lived in El Paso for 4 years while I went to medical school. It became very clear to me that pediatrics was the only specialty that I wanted to do because I knew that I wanted to be around kids all the time. So I finished up my medical degree, my master's in public health, and then I moved. We bought our first house. I got married all within about the span of a month and then became a stepmom. I have a stepdaughter from my husband's first marriage and she's great. And then I had my son while I was a resident, and then we moved to Oklahoma because I had to pay back my 4 years for my scholarship. And I was the general pediatrician at Fort Sill, Oklahoma for those 4 years. And then both of our families are from the North Texas area, so we were fortunate to be able to move back down here and found an amazing private practice down here. I knew coming out of the military, I only wanted to join a privately owned private practice because I had dealt with the challenges of working under a system that is very rigid, hard to change. Even changing paperwork or things that seemed that seemed really simple to me were really challenging. So now I get to work there and change my practice based off of current evidence. Really feel like I can do exactly what I want to do as a pediatrician. So my goal is just to share that information that I have and the knowledge, help discuss some of the medical myths and medical concerns that go around online, and hopefully be a good resource. So that's enough about me.